On November 22, 2025, what should have been a quiet evening in the small town of Anson, Texas, slowly turned into something far more disturbing for a 22-year-old woman with disabilities.
Where, do you hear me?
Talking to me, sir?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Can I put my dogs up? I'm scared, mother. I'm scared.
The young woman had been living there under the care of her foster mother, Candy Thompson, a 60-year-old woman who, along with her late husband, a former police chief, had fostered more than 50 children over the years and was widely respected in the community. Next door, 24-year-old Justin Anderson heard the noise. At first, it sounded like unexplained banging, but as he listened more closely, the panic in her voice became clear where this happened.
Yeah. You locked your kid in a dog kennel.
Yes, because she's turning up everything and just.
You really think locking a kid in a special needs kid? A special needs kid. Locking her in a dog
I'm
kennel?
gonna put this dog in there.
No, do you understand how that is on a special needs kid? To where I get home and I hear somebody screaming like that? Yeah, look at your face. You hear that precious child? And I know you have more than just her that's special needs. And I can hear you calling them the R word. They are special needs.
The woman was taken into the backyard and locked inside a wire dog kennel, which was then covered with tarps and secured with a latch, leaving her confined outside in 57-degree weather. She was wearing only a t-shirt and jogging pants, and as the cold set in, her fear became impossible to hide. She began screaming, crying out that she was scared, repeatedly asking to be let out, and begging to use the bathroom as her voice carried beyond the fence.
And you're calling them and locking them in a freaking dog kennel. Are you serious? Do you not hear her?
What are you scared of, Emily?
She's locked into a kennel, bro. That's what she's scared of. That's wrapped up that you cannot see. That's what she's scared of. Somebody that is a mom that's supposed to protect their kid. Do you not hear her? You have no remorse. They're banging on your door.
Okay.
Justin called 911 immediately, and police arrived shortly after. Officers unlocked the kennel, checked the woman for injuries related to the cold and confinement, and placed Thompson under arrest at the scene.
It's okay, sweetheart. It's okay. The help is here. If you look behind you, Emily, there's a police officer, okay? Tell him what you just told me, okay? It's okay.
We're here now. Okay?
Breathe, okay?
Come on out, sweetheart. Come on out. Come on out.
You see, Thompson claimed the woman had misbehaved, accusing her of urinating around the house and damaging property, and instead of seeking help or supervision, she chose a punishment that shocked everyone who learned about it. The woman was taken to a hospital for evaluation, treated, and then placed into protective care with family members, where she is now safe and receiving support. In the days that followed, it was reported that she told authorities this kind of treatment had happened before, raising concerns that the abuse was not an isolated incident.
You see this on crime TV or, movies and stuff like that. And I didn't think that it being this close right there that it would happen in my backyard. But like they say, you never know who your neighbor is.
As of December 2025, there has been no public update on her long-term recovery, but the case has prompted serious questions about how foster homes for disabled adults are monitored, particularly when caregivers have long histories that went unquestioned. What's disturbing is no one knows how long this had been happening or how many had suffered. Reports pointed to gaps in oversight, limited safety checks, and the unchecked authority Thompson held within her home as factors that allowed the situation to continue. On October 7, 2025, Zachary Groff, a 35-year-old man, was in downtown Tampa's MacDill Park along the Riverwalk, a place where people typically walk, talk, and enjoy the evening without concern for danger. Earlier that same afternoon, Groff had been released from jail after serving time related to a failure to appear warrant connected to a prior DUI, and he had been free for only about 3 hours when police crossed paths with him again.
God.
Alright, good.
Please don't do that, man. Listen, I got mad today. Please don't do that shit. Stop. I got out of jail today. Please just take that shit. Don't wait. Dude, come on, man. I got out of jail today. I'm not moving. I got out of jail today, bro. Please, come on. Please. Just let me go.
Stop doing crack and you won't have to deal with
I
it
know.
closer like.
Come on, dude. Please, to God. I got high today. Bro. Please let me go. Please let me go. You don't understand what I've been going through. You're trying to kill me, bro. I'm for real. Please let me go. Please, to God. Please, fucking Jesus, let me go. I will pick that shit up and walk to Tampa. I have an arrest warrant, dude.
4 Tampa police officers were following up on a tip about a stolen backpack and a missing handgun when they spotted Groff in the park. When they approached him and asked for identification, a small bag of crack cocaine fell from his pocket, changing the situation instantly. Groff was placed under arrest, handcuffed behind his back, searched and disarmed of a small knife before being seated on a park bench just a few feet from the curb, with traffic moving steadily along Ashley Drive nearby.
Man.
Cross your feet.
Yes, sir.
Is there anything else illegal in here?
No. Dude, please don't take me to jail. I just paid $3,000, dude.
Where is it?
That's all the money I had.
It's a good size of
Please just throw it away.
crack rock. Where'd you get it? Where'd you get it from?
I bought it at the bar and then I left.
Which bar?
Gen X.
They sold it to you at Gen X? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like the bartender did?
Dude, I was going on a rant about police. Please don't take me to jail, dude. Please, if you can do anything, God, please, dude. Please, bro. Please, to God.
Looks like you still need more help, man.
I don't need more. I'll leave right now. I hate my life.
He repeatedly told officers that he did not want to go back to jail and said things like, "Today could be the day I die," while also hinting that he might hurt himself. The officers attempted to calm him as they finished paperwork and continued checking for the stolen firearm, which they never found in his possession. Then, without warning, this happened.
Listen, dude, whatever. If you do your job and you take me to jail, I'm going to...
Dude, you're gonna go with the big crack?
No, I'm not, dude. I'm not going anywhere, dude. I'm not. Holy shit. Okay, then I'm not gonna.
Still handcuffed, he bolted from the bench and sprinted directly toward the roadway. Within seconds, one officer deployed a taser. The probes struck Groff, his body stiffened immediately, and he fell forward with no ability to brace himself, collapsing straight into the path of an oncoming Mercedes sedan. The impact happened almost instantly. Officers rushed to him and began CPR, but the injuries were catastrophic, and Zachary Groff was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the vehicle was not impaired, was traveling at a normal speed, and remained on site, fully cooperating with investigators with no charges filed against him. What had been a normal evening in the park changed in a matter of seconds. In the days that followed, many people questioned the decision to use a taser on a handcuffed man seated so close to moving traffic. Medical and law enforcement experts noted that tasers often cause full-body lockup, leaving no chance to regain balance or control, which is exactly what happened when Groff fell forward into the street. Tampa police policy does allow taser use on fleeing handcuffed suspects if officers believe there is a risk to public safety, and Police Chief Lee Burkaw defended the officer's actions, stating that the goal was to stop a possibly armed suspect from escaping into a busy downtown area. Still, the setting itself played a major role, as the short distance between the park bench and traffic left no margin for error. As of December 2025, investigations by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement and Tampa Police Internal Affairs were still ongoing, with no final decision announced regarding discipline. Many people believe the larger issue was the combination of a distressed individual, a high-pressure arrest, and an urban environment where there was no safe buffer between a detained suspect and a busy roadway. Zachary Groff's death was ruled accidental, but it has left behind serious questions about how field arrests are handled, how mental health crises are addressed, and how quickly a routine police encounter can turn irreversible when even a few feet of distance are missing. On November 30th, 2025, a 19-year-old man named Gerson de Melo Machado walked into the Arruda Câmara Zoobotanical Park in João Pessoa, Brazil, turning what should have been a normal Sunday into a tragedy. Gerson did not arrive as a typical guest. For nearly 10 years, he had been deeply fixated on lions, convinced he could tame them and believing they were connected to him in a personal way.
Tá certinho. E olha o pai legal.
Tá? Cadê?
É isso aí. Quero ver agora. Vai comer.
Diagnosed with schizophrenia as a teenager, abandoned by his parents, and moved through institutions for most of his life, he never received stable care. Just 1 month earlier, a judge had ordered his involuntary admission to a psychiatric hospital, but the order was never carried out. That morning, in front of security cameras and dozens of visitors, Gerson suddenly ran toward the enclosure and climbed the 6-meter wall in seconds, where everything changed.
Eita caralho!
Esse cara vai aparecer nada, vai aparecer você.
Porra nenhuma, mano. Olha espremendo lá os pés dele lá.
Meu Deus, desceu! Ai meu Deus, olha! Olha meu!
The moment his feet touched the ground, Leona charged. She grabbed his leg, pulled him down, and dragged him behind a wall where he could no longer be seen. The entire attack lasted less than 2 minutes. When police and paramedics arrived, Gerson was already dead, having lost a fatal amount of blood after severe injuries to his neck. An autopsy later confirmed that he died almost immediately from hemorrhagic shock. Videos recorded by witnesses spread online within hours, drawing millions of views and intense public reaction. Some blamed the zoo, others blamed the lion, and many questioned Gerson's actions. As more information emerged, it became clear that this was not a stunt or an attempt to gain attention, but the result of long-term untreated mental illness and repeated failures within the support system meant to protect him. The zoo was closed indefinitely following the incident. Leona was monitored for signs of stress and later returned to her enclosure, having acted purely on instinct when a human entered her territory. Authorities and animal welfare groups agreed that the lion was not at fault, and no action was taken against her. As of December 2025, the criminal investigation remains open, but is expected to close without charges against the zoo. City officials have announced plans to review perimeter security and add additional measures, though experts note that the enclosure was designed to keep animals inside, not to stop a determined individual from entering. What happened that morning was not the result of a single decision or a single failure. It was the end of a long sequence shaped by untreated illness, lack of intervention, and a young man who had been overlooked for most of his life, long before he ever climbed that wall. On February 4th, 2019, an ordinary evening for a family in Ecatepec, Mexico slowly turned into something frightening. That night, a father, a mother, their 15-year-old daughter, and a younger child were sitting inside their red car, parked at the corner of Mexico and Venezuela streets. They had no warning and no reason to think they were in danger, until 4 armed men suddenly surrounded the vehicle, where this happened. The parents were pulled from the car and assaulted at gunpoint, while the younger child tried to step forward and was violently pushed back, coming dangerously close to being shot. In those moments, everything unfolded at once, with fear and confusion taking over as the family realized there was very little they could do to stop it. Then, unexpectedly, the situation shifted. The 15-year-old daughter stepped out of the car and moved toward one of the attackers, refusing to stay still while her family was being harmed. Acting on instinct rather than calculation, she struggled with him, attempting to disarm him and break the attack, even though the danger was obvious. The struggle lasted only seconds. A gunshot rang out, and she was struck in the abdomen, collapsing onto the pavement. Without hesitation, the attackers got back into the car and drove away, leaving the family behind in shock. Emergency responders arrived shortly after and provided medical care before rushing the girl to the hospital, where doctors worked to stabilize her. Despite the seriousness of the injury, reports later confirmed that her wounds were not life-threatening and she survived. In the days that followed, reactions were divided. Many praised her bravery, while others pointed out how dangerous it is to confront armed criminals, especially in places where violence is common and help may not arrive quickly. The incident once again highlighted the risks faced by families in Ecatepec, where carjackings and limited security continue to affect daily life. Authorities moved quickly, and by the next day, 4 suspects were arrested after being connected to the crime through investigation and a separate pursuit. They were charged with armed robbery and causing injury. While little public information has been shared about the long-term impact on the girl's health, the incident stands as a clear example of the pressure people face in high-crime areas, where decisions are made in seconds, and even the most courageous actions come with serious consequences. On December 1st, 2025, what began as a normal workout session slowly turned into a devastating tragedy for Ronald Jose Salvador Montenegro, a 55-year-old father of 2 and a well-known community figure in Olinda, Brazil. Like many people focused on strength training, Montenegro often performed the bench press, an exercise that involves lowering a weighted barbell to the chest and pressing it back upward, a movement that can be effective but carries serious risks when done alone with heavy weight. On that Monday, he approached the bench press station by himself, without a spotter nearby, even though spotters are commonly used to help guide the bar or intervene if a lifter loses control. Security camera footage from inside the gym later showed Montenegro loading the bar with a significant amount of weight, though the exact amount was never publicly confirmed. But only seconds into the movement, this happened. The barbell dropped straight onto his chest with full force. The impact caused immediate and severe trauma, disrupting his heart rhythm and possibly triggering a condition known as commotio cordis, where a sudden blow to the chest leads to cardiac arrest. Despite the severity of the impact, Montenegro managed to push the bar away, rise to his feet, and take a few unsteady steps, clearly in distress, as if trying to reach someone nearby. Moments later, he collapsed to the floor, struggling to breathe. Other gym members and staff rushed to him and attempted basic first aid while emergency services were called. He was transported quickly to the UPA de Rio Doce Urgent Care Unit, where medical teams worked to revive him, but the injuries were too severe. Montenegro was pronounced dead shortly after arriving at the hospital. Police later confirmed that the incident was an accidental death, with no evidence of foul play. Still, the tragedy sparked widespread discussion about gym safety, particularly regarding solo lifting and the absence of supervision during heavy exercises. While gyms often train staff for emergencies, this incident highlighted how quickly a routine moment can turn fatal when safeguards are missing, and how important proper technique, supervision, and caution are in environments meant to promote health and well-being.